what is it that what was the turning point for you? Tell us about like the experience of this car accident that you were in, so that we can kind of get into the process of overcoming that. So yeah, share with us a little bit.
Yeah, okay. So, um, just to like quickly preface, right before this car crash, I actually had been personal training. Like I literally had like a personal training session the day
Yeah,
before. I taught group fitness classes. Like I have multiple certifications, and so very fitness focused. And
yeah,
literally left my class, and I was driving home. And in New Jersey, you're not allowed to make a U-turn wherever, like you can down south. And so
okay,
this minivan made an illegal U-turn and it hit my little Honda Civic, it pushed it onto a curb and into like one of those like electrical poles. And, I'm small, car's small, not gonna, it wasn't a good thing. So
yeah,
basically, I immediately like knew that God like spared my life because I couldn't open my door at first because the minivan was there.
right.
Um, and the pole could have, I mean, it was teetered a little bit, but
It didn't
it didn't move.
fall.
Yeah, it didn't fall. And so the result was I had a cervical disc herniation, I had bulges, I had severe cardiothoracic bruising, and then some issues with my nose and my teeth. I'll just
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
which I usually don't share, but it is what it is. So
yeah,
um, yeah, it was just really shocking to be able to wake up the next day and like lift up your arm to like brush your hair and be in like excruciating
yeah,
pain
yeah, for sure.
trying to brush your hair or shower. It was
Yeah,
completely different, you know. And that healing journey took like 2 years, but I'll let you ask more questions. But it was
no,
really tough,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, so something like that, a lot of pain, obviously. Like, I know that, like, us talking about it, you said you were dealing with a lot of pain after that, that kind of caused you, I think, in some ways, to do a deep dive more so into like health and
Yeah.
fitness. Like, so that like some, because I know for me, like after my car accident, broken pelvis and like screw and this and that. Like you're trying to figure out how to walk again and whatnot. Physical therapy played a huge role in just kind of showing me that how powerful health and fitness could be. I wouldn't say that like I directly like went towards like, oh, like this is helpful, I'm going to be a fitness coach now, but it certainly opened my eyes to the power of health and fitness. So like, why is it that you deliberately kind of went down the path of health and fitness? Like, what were you trying to do?
So as I said, like it was really
I
weird
mean,
because
you're
like
already a coach, so like
yeah.
obviously you were already in that mindset. Then this happens, but like you could easily end up in a situation like this and like just keep doing what you were doing before. Like, it doesn't sound like you did this. You kept doing what you were doing before with this.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was pretty crazy, right? Because you're teaching a fitness class that morning, and then a few hours later, your body can barely move.
Yeah.
So, I will credit a lot of this to, this might get me a little emotional. We have a chiropractor friend, and I'm going to shout him out in New Jersey,
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Legato, Dr. Gil Legato. And he had actually been my chiropractor since I was like 15 because I ran track and my feet would
Okay.
cramp up all the time. And my mom was a massage therapist. So she was also
Oh
very
man.
strategic about yeah, she had a best friend of hers actually get, like the injection for pain and it paralyzed the entire right side of her
Oh
body.
shoot.
Yeah.
That's not good.
And so Dr. Legato helped her, and it was a longer
Wow.
process for her than it was for me,
Yeah.
obviously paralyzed.
Yeah.
And so when it came to the orthopedics saying like, oh, well, we could give you this and you can have a surgery for that, they were like, no, my mom was like, no, no, because she saw
Ooh.
what happened to her friend. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to make a statement here. Like, obviously, we're not doctors or nurses. I don't know what's going to happen to each person that, everyone's situation is different. But my mom had this, like, no, 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 because
Yeah.
she
Like this
watched her best friend.
unction. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I asked everybody but my orthopedic, like, I asked my chiropractor, who also did my acupuncture. I asked my cardiologist. I had a cardiothoracic. He was actually a surgeon, but he was like, I'm not doing any type of surgery on you because my heart was like palpitating really bad all the
Mhm.
time too. And so they were like, no, like if you just do this journey, like continue with working slowly to strengthen your body, and you're going to have to be pretty strategic about what you want to eat, um, then you can avoid this, but it's not going to be easy. Like it's just
Yeah.
not. And so I was like, do I want the easy way or do I not? And I felt like God
Right.
was like, no, I don't want you to take the easy way, which is why I said the journey took 2 years. So both like not just physically, but also spiritually and mentally, it was
Yeah.
hard. My pastor, Joe Source at the time, and oh my gosh, I'm like all the feelings. um, my pastor Joe Source at the time, he could see the change in my like demeanor a little bit
Hmm.
after it happened, and he was like, no, 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 like you're not going down like this path, right? And so he made sure like the women's pastors were like that I already built relationships
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
were alongside of
Yeah.
me, because
That's great.
I forgot one more thing. Before that, I had started a group in my church with Health and
Yeah.
Wellness, like a small group that I
Yeah.
approached my pastor about, and he was like, "Oh, that's a great idea. You should do it." And I was like, "What? I should do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, you
Yeah.
should
You
do
should
it."
do it.
Yeah. And so in the middle of me starting this group was when this happened too. So it was like a whammy, because then
Yeah.
I had other people who had to kind of take over this group. And so that's why my pastor was like, no, this is not going to be a part of your story. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Um, and so a lot of those people helped in nurturing that spiritual growth, and during that time, which was important to me, learning how to physically overcome and research and learn how God created foods
Yeah.
to nourish our body, how God created foods to heal our
For
body. And
sure.
at the same time, I was doing acupuncture and other things as well.
Yeah.
Um, but all of that to say, Dr. Legato was huge in that. And so he knows a lot about like naturopathic things, and that
Yeah.
since that was the route I was going, I was gonna ask him. He's like, well, it's gonna take some education. And so like I started to read labels, which I didn't really do before. I started to learn about what they put in foods and how it can affect us and how it could affect the joint pain I was having throughout my entire body,
Yeah.
and how I could work to regulate my the way my body was functioning
Yeah.
a lot better. And so, through doing chiropractic acupuncture and learning about that at the same time, like that's basically how like the Lord allowed me to heal. I did Pilates, which is why I later got a certification in Pilates. That would be the first entrance I had back into fitness, was Pilates.
Okay.
But nutrition was, I mean, that was hardcore. That was like the one thing I could control for a long time, other than acupuncture and chiropractic adjustments. Like that's all I could do, because even leg lifts, like lifting my leg, caused severe
Wow.
chest pain. Like it was crazy.